Guys, welcome back to your tile channel. Today's video, epoxy grout the walls. Don't forget to subscribe. This video was brought to you by e.g Formula. In this video, we're using the c.e.g epoxy grout color winter gray, which we're using to grout 8x8 porcelain tiles on the wall, using e.g Formula for a fantastic clean outcome. It's important that you always use a good epoxy grout float so that it leaves less resin. Using the grout float, always stuff in every grout joint carefully, and always remember to work at a decent, consistent speed. At first, the epoxy grout will be soft and easy to use, so you must take advantage of this time and fill in all the grout joints quickly before the epoxy starts getting harder, and you'll notice when you're about halfway down the batch. But here's an important tip that you should remember. If the epoxy grout gets so hard that it's unreal to be installing, you should stop, and that's even if you're only a few square feet from completing the project. The reason being, when epoxy grout gets so difficult to pull or stuff into the grout joints, you'll run the risk of severely staining the porcelain or ceramic tile. Now, we were able to install the epoxy grout on the walls before the epoxy grout got seriously hard. Now that we installed all the epoxy grout, it's time to clean. Using e.g Formula, the epoxy grout cleaner essentially releases epoxy grout from the surface of the tile prior to cleaning. Now we do this to make sure that e.g starts loosening up. So e.g Formula helps loosens epoxy grout from the surface of the tile and also helps prevent stains. Also gives your sponge a longer lifetime, including your scrub pad. Not only that, it also helps giving you enough time to clean epoxy grout because it helps loosen it from the surface of the tile. Now, when you're using epoxy grout on the walls, we use e.g Formula on a spray bottle. First, we spray e.g Formula directly over the surface of tile. Then we make sure to cover at least between 75 to 85% of the epoxy grout coverage. Now e.g Formula is in progress, making epoxy grout easier to clean. To use e.g Formula to its fullest extent, we also have to use it with our sponges and scrub pads. We use 3 buckets with 3 gallons of clean water. So first we shook the bottle, then we pour a third of it in all 3 buckets. Now let's clean epoxy with e.g Formula, starting off with the scrub pad. Dip the scrub pad in the bucket, rinse it well, and start removing epoxy grout in a circular motion. The scrub pad at this point is doing 2 different things: removing epoxy grout from the surface of your tile and also brushing your grout joints, which is why I recommend using the e.g scrub pads to avoid rough texture when brushing grout joints. So it's very important that you don't miss any areas when using your scrub pad. This will determine the consistency of your grout joint, and you'll want to scrub 100% of the epoxy grout coverage. Now that we scrubbed a good portion of it, using the sponge with our second bucket, we're ready to wipe down so that the dirty water don't sit over the tile too long. Now, as you clean the epoxy grout with the sponge, don't forget to only use one side of the sponge per wipe. Now let's repeat these steps before the final wash. With the e.g scrub pad, remove the majority of the epoxy grout from the walls as you brush your grout joint. Then with a different bucket and a sponge, wipe down off the wall using one side of your sponge per wipe. While you repeat the steps, e.g Formula is also working on epoxy grout, making it easier to scrub, clean, wipe off, and perfect for a final wash. These are our basic steps to cleaning epoxy grout using e.g Formula for the best cleaning results. To get the epoxy grout formula, check out www.egformula.com. And for the final wash, since we're dealing with, or if any, thin epoxy grout film, requires a sponge, a scrub pad, and a bucket with e.g Formula, and wipe down as you would epoxy grout, and that's considered a job well done.